There is only one perfect solution, but there are clues that will try to trick our team.
Hello there everyone, my name is Crazy Caleb and welcome to another Simon module. Today we're going to be taking a look at Simon Shorts. And the way that you can tell this is Simon Shorts is because there is going to be a series of different wires that are going to be connecting each of these buttons essentially. So what's going to be happening is that there is not going to be any flashes, however there's going to be a series of electrical charges moving on one of these guys here. And what's going to be happening here is that we have a flashing color that's going to be starting at somewhere, and it's going to be moving down to a different position, essentially. So in this case, the flashing color is going to be cyan, but that's going to be flashing down at the bottom position. For instance, red. It's not currently flashing red, but in this case, it is going to be going down to the bottom position. It won't flash exactly on the module, and these guys. And it says these wires are live. And this module contains 4 colored buttons arranged in a diamond shape, like it normally does. And a spark will occasionally travel down one of the 2 buttons. This button the button receiving the spark will then flash in the color of the button sending the spark. Now, obviously, for purposes of how the colors would look, essentially, it would be a little bit weird to see a cyan in the middle of a red. But essentially, what you have here is you have a little spark to demonstrate what's going on here. And the buttons light are broken, however, and it will never actually illuminate. So that's what this case is. So now what we're going to do is we're going to solve the module and press the correct button in 4 stages. Each stages you must press the correct buttons from the previous stages in order, followed by a new one, like a normal Simon module. Now to obtain the new button press, look at the flashes of the buttons. These flashes form a sequence of initially 1 flash. Look at the last flash, and use the relative position of the flashing button and the button with the color of the grid of the flash to select a small grid in the large grid below. Now, what exactly does all of that mean? That sounds very, very complicated. In this case, what it's saying is to take our new flash that we have here, and if we take a look at this grid down here, we see that we have a bunch of different arrows that are pointing in a bunch of different directions in this case. So what we want to do is we want to take a look at the one of the little smaller subgrids here, because there's going to be 4 of them present here, and we want to take a look at the one that has on the outside the direction of which the spark is traveling to. So in this case, it is currently traveling down right now. So in this case, we're going to be taking a look at this left grid over here. These 2 conditions, the down and the up right, is going to be on the left. The left and the down right is going to be up. The up and the down left is going to be on the right side, and then the up left and the right is going to be on the bottom part of the subgrid. And in this case, each of these guys are actually going to give a series of different, essentially a bunch of different rules that you need to follow. In this case, we have position of flash, which in this case, if we take a look at this rule, the position of the flash is not at the top, it's going from the top to the bottom. This is the color that matches. The flash is going to be appearing at the bottom in this case. So in this case, the bottom is going to be appearing, and we're simply just going to be pressing the position of the flash, which is going to be down. And just like that, that's good to go. It's essentially going to be trying to find us to follow the rules. So let's take a look at the next one. So in this case, we're going to be pressing down for the first one, and I'm going to note these by direction, not by color, because it's going to be much easier to differentiate between them in that way. So now we have green is going to be flashing at the red. However, the spark is going in a down left motion in this case for the stage. So the down left motion wants us to go over to here. So it wants us to press the position of the flashing color. The position of the flashing color in this case is actually on the right side. So this is going to be on the right side. So we're going to be simply pressing this guy right over here. So it's going to be a down right. Just like that. The rules are simple, and don't be fooled by them. Do not be fooled by them, because they are not that hard to do. So now we have the red is flashing, and it's going to go into the upright. It's going to be going in the upright position. Which in this case, if we take a look at the upright, which represents the position of the flash, in this case, this is going to be over at the right side. So this is going to be representing the position of the flash. So we simply just are going to be pressing right for this stage. So we're going to take a look at down, right, right. Remember, we're trying to take a look at what the direction of the flash is going to be based off of this diagram and on the outside of these what the outside of these little subgrids have essentially. So now our last flash is going to be down and to the left, which happens to be the exact same thing that we just had before. It's going to be the cyan to the purple. So in this case, it's going to be right over here. So it's going to be the position of the flashing color. The position of the flashing color is the cyan, which is going to be up top. So in this case, it's going to be a down, right, right, and up. So down, right, and up.
Is the right answer.
And just like that is a solved model. That is all you are simply doing. It's not that complicated as it looks, and I hopefully can get some more examples with the top and the bottom here. But essentially, all of these, essentially you have the flashing color and the flashing button. Now the button, of course, refers to the position, and in this case, it's going to be corresponding to the color. Now keep in mind that remember we need to press the position of the button on the module. It's not going to be the color. Well, in some cases, that actually just will be the color. However, the color will give us potentially a new direction in this case. Remember that cyan was up, so if we had to have a left or a down right, if we happen to have the flashing color be cyan, we would be pressing the down position. So let's take a look at two more examples. This module is really straightforward what it would ask you to do. However, sometimes it might be a little weird to understand exactly what's going on. It's as simple as you think it is, trust me. So let's take a look at something here. So let's take a look at this one.
There is only one
Okay,
solution,
so we have a cyan that is flashing to the right. So in this case, a cyan is going to be flashing to the right. Note that the positions, of course, will not always be the same for the colors. So that's why it's going to be important that you don't focus on the, think that the diagram is always going to be 100% accurate, or 100% the exact same. So in this case, cyan is going to the right. The right motion wants me to take a look at the flashing button. The flashing button is the one that is going to be the flashing position. So in this case, where the cyan is going to be flashing at is going to be at the right side, or green in this case. And green wants me to take a look at the right side. Give me a second. Motorcyclist is going by, for those of you who can't hear that. In this case, green is going to be the side that we need to press because it is the side of which the flashing button is on, or is rather the color of which the flashing button is going to be on. And in this case, we're going to be pressing the right side because the smaller grid here wants me to focus on the right side. So we're going to press right for this one here, just like that. So now, it's going to be the exact same thing. There's no stage knowledge that we need to have. There's no increasing. There's no. There is the possibility of there being duplicates, and in this case, there is. So we can simply use applied knowledge and simply say that this is going to be a right, just like that. Now for our next stage, purple is going to be moving down to red. So purple is going to be moving down. So the position of the flash in this case is going to be. It's going to be flashing at the bottom part. It's not the position of the flashing color. The flashing color would be up. So in this case, the flash is going to be at the red, which means that this is going to be down. So right, down, because remember, we're taking a look here. Essentially, the left and right want you to only focus on the position, not the actual color. But it's important that you make sure the terminology is important as well. The flash is where the wire is traveling to. The flashing color is where it originates from. That's the key difference here. So we're going to do a right, down, okay? And then next up, we're going to have, for our last stage, another right again. So this is going to be a right, down, right.
That is absolutely right.
Just like that is a solved module. So now let's take a look at this last example, and hopefully we can get something else here. So let's take a look. So it's going to be upright, which in this case represents the position of the flash. The position of the flash is going to be taking place at the right over here, so we're going to press right. Simple as that. So now next up, we're going to be doing the same thing again, so right. Interesting example, I will say. It's going to the left now. Okay, so the left. So the flashing color in this case is going to be, going from right to left, which in this case, it starts with cyan, so that means cyan is going to be flashing. However, cyan is going to be flashing over at the green side. So cyan is going to essentially be, what we're looking at here, is it is the flashing color, not the flashing button. So cyan is what we're going to press, which means we're going to be pressing the down position in this graph right here. So it's going to be a right, and then for this stage, it's going to be down, just like that. And then a right in this case, a right is going to be the flashing button because we have this little diagram right here. A right is going to be the flashing button. So the flashing button is actually going to be cyan in this case. It's going to be cyan because of the fact that the green is going to be flashing. It's the flashing color. That's going to be flashing over its cyan in this case. So cyan is going to be our answer, which is also going to be a down in this case. Remember, it's focusing on position. So in this case, we're going to do a right, down, and just like that is a solved module. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to stay crazy, stay cool, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.